In today's video, we'll be doing a first look at the three new test ships that have hit the World of Warships scene. We have the Fort Worth, as you can see here, the Baotou, which looks like a Neveski clone for Tier 9, and the Sete de Setembro, which looks like the Tier 9 Minnesota, but Tier 10. So I'll be looking over all these ships, going over their stats, talking about how good or bad I think they are off of their given stats, and comparing them to the other ships that are kind of like them. So let's get started. Now, these ships have entered the closed testing on the public test server that's currently in testing for 15.3. Which means that they'll be going onto the main server for testing in 15.3, which is going to be in April. Now, that does not mean that they'll be out then, it just means they'll be in testing. So all the ships I'll be showcasing today are currently in testing, which means that their stats are not finalized. So we'll see how they go through the testing process. All right, so Fort Worth is essentially looks like a very heavy cruiser, 27 millimeter bow, 27 millimeter deck, side armor is 191. Aft has a little armor section here, 269, as you can see here with a 27 millimeter rear as well. The guns are 254s, and as you can see here, it has 66,500 HP, and it has a slightly above water citadel, so you do have to be careful of that. So just to watch out for that, are going to be taking a lot of damage. So the guns are 254s. You have 9 of them in total, and with a 20-second reload. I expect these guns to act similarly to the Alaskas. So if you like playing Alaska, then I guess you're going to like these guns. Let me take a look. Secondaries. Nope. You are definitely not going to build secondaries on these, so do not do that. Gun range is okay. The ship also gets torpedoes as well, 5 per side, with a 109-second reload in the 9.2 kilometer range. So those torpedoes are definitely meant more of like if you're having to get close to somebody, because these torpedoes do a lot of damage. For Americans, it's 16,600, and they're not the fastest torpedoes. So they're definitely meant more if like, you're fighting someone, you're brawling it out. It's actually pretty nice. I think this is one of the first American cruisers that are tier 9 and above that actually has torpedoes. So pretty happy we're finally getting an American cruiser with actual torpedoes. Airstrikes is a standard 7 kilometer range. Anti-air is about standard for an American cruiser. Maneuverability is 35 knots. That's pretty standard for American cruisers, so pretty nice. Turning radius is 900 meters. That's not the best. Turning rudder shift is 13.4, not the best either, but it's a heavy cruiser. Concealment is 13 kilometers, which is, let me see. Building it all the way goes down to 11.7. That's pretty good concealment for how big this ship is. I think it's pretty good. So for the consumables, it gets a standard DCP of 5 seconds. The heal looks okay. Yeah, standard cooldown. It gets a hydroacoustics or DFAA. It does get a toggleable main battery reload booster. That's actually really good for this thing. The fact that the guns have a long reload on them. Having a toggleable reload booster, that's actually really nice. So if you have to like just start shoving out AP, and I expect the AP to be the same as the Alaskas, which is like really good AP. So I expect this thing to be a monster with this reload booster. Has a 10 kilometer range for the radar, 38-second duration, which is pretty nice as well. But yeah, overall, like from the stats, it looks like a variant difference of the Alaska. So I'm interested to see how it goes through its testing process. But yeah, it looks like a lot of fun to play. So looking forward to the Fort Worth whenever it actually comes out. All right, so moving on from there, let's go to the Baotou. So this thing essentially looks like a tier 9 version of the Neveski. We all know the Neveski as the tech tree tier 10 for the Soviets. But yeah, this is it here. Very nice, very nice. All right, but this thing does have a combat instruction, a few tricks up its sleeve compared to the Neveski, so we'll go over those momentarily. So the armor, definitely light armor, 25mm bow, little armor section of 50. Same armor as the Nevesky, 140 there. Slight above water citadel, so definitely be careful of that. Being tier 9 does have the reduced gun range, but you can build into gun range if needed. It does come with 2 torpedo sets, 1 per side, with 128-second reload, which is a long reload, and the damage is good for them as well, 18,800 with a 13.5 kilometer range. But you do get a combat instruction on this thing, and this makes it where if you hit a ship 100 times, or you get destroyed or an assist, you get 95% off your combat instruction, which allows you to get your torpedo reload boosters back almost instantaneously. So this thing it's meant to be a long distance farmer where you're using your accurate guns, your long distance farming to be able to get back your torpedo reload booster back over and over and over again. And that's why you have so many of them, because you're going to be able to farm pretty easily with this thing. You do have 8 guns on this thing in a 4 turret layout, 8.4-second reel, which you could build into. So you're going to be able to farm that pretty easily, because the shells are really fast, 1,000 meters per second, some of the fastest shells in the game. So good HE. AP is going to be okay as well, but you're mostly just going to be using HE to start fires and just doing damage with that. Is how I would do it. Secondaries, yeah, no secondaries. Don't do that. But yeah, they're also deep water torpedoes as well, so they hit only cruisers, battleships, and aircraft carriers. So you do have to watch out for that. Anti-air, 6.9 kilometers. It's not the best. It's okay for the tier. The damage control party is a quick cooldown damage control party, so that's pretty nice. It actually has a long duration compared to the other cruisers. This has a 6-second consumable action time, while the normal cruisers have a 5-second. That's actually really nice. It could potentially be worth to build into it, but we will see. The repair party is a standard heal, so that's pretty standard. You do not get aerial depth charges. You get surface depth charges like the Nevesky, so you do have to watch out for that on this thing. The concealment built is 10.4 kilometers, which is a pretty good concealment for a tier 9. And maneuverability is 36 knots, so that's pretty standard. So overall, it looks like a long-distance HE farmer, where you farm your combat instruction to be able to get your torpedoes off over and over again, is what it looks like. So it looks like like the play style feels like just a torpedo version of the Nevesky. So if you like playing Nevesky, but you want more torps, then from what it looks like, the Bao is going to be a lot of fun to play. So that's the Baotou. Okay, so moving on to the final new ship is going to be entering the testing is going to be the Sete de Septembro. So this ship looks like a tier 10 clone of the Minnesota, which is the tech tree for the tier 9 tech tree for the Vermont line for the Americans. So it do be thick, pretty thick ship here. And this ship does come with one big caveat compared to the regular Minnesota. It comes with a combat instruction. This makes it where if you hit 20 shells in total on a ship, you get your combat instruction, which allows you to have a 50% off your main battery reload for 50 seconds. So it allows you to have two maybe 3 reloads in, depending upon how it's built and how much adrenaline rush you have in a match. Also, yeah, so that's how it goes as well. Also, you can also, of course, have the legendary commander on here as well, which will boost that as well in random battles and ranked. And you can also have the legendary commander on the Baotou as well. And his enhanced skill, the torpedo attack expert, which I don't think is going to be that hard to hit 6 torpedoes. You'll be able to do a lot with that as well. So I'm really interested to see how this legendary commander pairs with this ship, because it makes it where you get your combat instruction faster torpedoes, and you get an extra reload booster for your torpedoes. So I'm really interested to see how that goes with the Baotou. So the Sete de Setembro, going back to that, it does go with a specialized repair party team, 60-second cooldown. I think this is pretty standard for the American Tech tree line, so about the same as the Minnesota. So very nice heal. The guns are 406s with 40-second reload. Of course, you're going to be able to build into them, make them faster reload. So the guns are pretty decent. Secondaries, yeah, don't worry about the secondaries. Depth charges are aerial at 11 kilometers. Pretty nice. Let's see. Armor is going to be 32 millimeters. Bow. Deck is 38. Sides are 38. Rear is 32. 457s. Let's see. Citadel is going to be about waterline. Citadel section here, 343. 86. So just be careful on your Citadel side. If not, you're going to be taking a lot of damage. So there's that. Also, the Baotou has a HP pool of 47,200 for tier 9, which is pretty good HP for a tier 9 cruiser. All right, so anti-air. It's okay. 525 for 4 kilometers close is pretty nice, but a lot of CVs can attack you outside of that range, or they won't be in it for very long, so that's kind of painful. Flak is 6, not the best not the best flak. Maneuverability 22.8 knots. Yeah, it's a Minnesota. It's not meant to be. It's not the prettiest. For the ship's concealment, let me just put a commander on here that has concealment real quick. Let's see, 12.7 knots, not bad. Okay, so 12.7 kilometers isn't bad concealment. That's pretty good concealment for a battleship. That's a tier 10, so I'll take it. Not bad. So yeah, it just looks like a combat instructed up Minnesota. So if you like playing Minnesota, then you're gonna like this ship. But yeah, all these ships look pretty interesting, and they had like a variant play style of the ships they're kind of based off of. So I think my favorite out of the 3 is probably going to be the Fort Worth. The Baotou are my favorites out of the 3. I'm not the biggest fan of the Minnesota, so not really interested in the Sete D as much. But the other ships I am definitely interested in, so we'll have to see for sure. Now, they did add back into testing the Super Colombo, the Affondatore. They did add this ship back into testing. It's been in and out of testing forever. They've been trying to figure out what to do with this thing. The ship does now have SAP. It originally didn't. It had AP and HE. Now they have brought the SAP back. So, yeah, they brought the SAP back. Has 115,000 HP. A lot of HP. 32 millimeter bow, 32 millimeter aft. Side plating armor 50 millimeters. 420 millimeter side here with a deck of 50 millimeters. Let's see here. Oh, wow. That's actually a pretty nice turtleback. Sheesh. It's pretty nice. It looks like it's going to be quite difficult to Citadel this ship. So, pretty nice, man. That's pretty good. Main guns are 406s, 40-second reload. The rear guns look like they're 360s. Yeah, this one may not be. This one should be 360, but we'll have to see whenever it goes out. Guns look pretty decent, though, having both SAP and AP on them. Anti-air, 973 mid-range is one of the highest we've ever seen. That's really high mid-range anti-air, but again, most CVs can easily just not stay in that range. So, yeah. We'll see. Max speed 30 knots, it's not bad. 1,002 meter turning radius, that's pretty big, but the ship is also massive. Yeah, this ship is absolutely massive. It is not small. It's even got a big target on the back of it, too. Yeah, good lord, this thing is huge. Damn. Yeah, this ship is massive. Good god. Concealment is going to be massive. Yeah. Let's see. Fully built with concealment. Let's just take a look real quick. I'm just putting random skills just so I can see. 14.1 kilometers. Yeah, it's a super ship. It's not meant to be pretty at all. So the ship does come with a combat instruction. Let's see. So ship speed boost is 10%. With consumable preparation time and reload time 10% when it's active. It gets 3.5% per shell hit on an enemy ship. Okay. And it's active for 60 seconds. So you get faster speed with consumable preparation time and reload time at 10%. So it kind of helps you to be able to maneuver around a little bit and to get your exhaust smoke back. I think that's really good. So the heal's pretty standard, nothing special about it. Exhaust smoke, 45 second, yeah, that's pretty standard too. Pretty nice on there, and the combat instruction's nice. SAP does 14,100. Sheesh. And AP does 13,000. But yeah, pretty interesting ship. Looks pretty good. It's going to be fun to play. If you like playing Colombo, then you're going to like playing this ship. But I feel like people are still going to like playing Colombo because of the Legendary mod. So I'm interested to see how this ship goes through its testing process. But this ship has already been in testing. It's been in and out of testing for months. Like almost half a year at this point for sure. But anywho. But yeah. Let me know what you guys think of the ships, though, in the comments. We greatly appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.